Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing some more information regarding Ninjago Season 16 that we have yet to cover from Tommy Andreassen's 2 Truths, 1 Lie post that he made over on his Twitter account on April 1st. For a couple of things before we get started here, if you guys don't know who Tommy Andreassen is, he's a pretty big deal in the Ninjago community. He's one of the co-creators of the entire Ninjago series, and almost every single year on his Twitter account, he makes an April Fool's post in the form of a 2 Truths, 1 Lie post, and this year was no different, as I said. We've already done several videos regarding this post, but we still have one topic in particular from the post that we have yet to discuss in detail on this very channel. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking a look at the last thing that we have to talk about regarding that Tommy Andreassen post, and obviously with that being said, there will be a ton of speculation to follow. Theories and speculation will be very much commonplace in today's video. And for another disclaimer, this video will in fact contain information about Season 16 that may in fact be a spoiler, I guess you could say. I don't think there's going to be any explicit spoilers in today's video. As I said, it's primarily going to be speculation, but just in case something I theorize about turns out to be correct, there is your light spoiler warning. So in terms of the Tommy Andreassen April 1st post, what exactly do we have to talk about yet? Well, as I've said, we still have one more thing to discuss from that post, and why don't we head on over to the post itself and take a look at what exactly it is before we get more into the theories and the speculation portion of today's upload. Alright guys, so here we have the post in question, the 2 Truths, 1 Lie post that was made by Tommy Andreassen over on his Twitter account, and we've already discussed a couple of things on here. First things first, let me just explain that this post was made on April 1st, and while that may in fact be the case, and April 1st is often known as April Fool's Day to a lot of people, this is very much not an April Fool's joke. The reason I say that is because Tommy Andreassen does something like this almost every year for Ninjago. So this being posted on April 1st, that being April Fool's Day, doesn't really have anything to do with this post right here. One of these is definitely the lie, and in terms of which one I think is the lie, as I've said in previous videos, I still think the bottom one is the lie here. I think the first one, the Weekend Whip, actually having some type of significance to the plot, I think that one is definitely true, the lyrics actually meaning something. The second one is what we're going to be discussing here in a second, the insignificant potted plant being a huge reason as to why the ninja can face off against evil, and the last one I think is the lie right here. That of course being that the toy designers and the writers have collaborated to avoid spoilers by including things in the sets that are not going to be in the show. But in terms of the second option, that's what we're going to be taking a look at in today's video. An insignificant potted plant will prove to be one of the main reasons our heroes stand a chance against the overwhelming forces of evil. Now, of course, if this one's the lie in my opinion, then these two have to be true, which means that this one is going to be true, most likely in my humble opinion. And on first glance, to a lot of Ninjago fans, this came off as really stupid, so a lot of people said that this was the lie. Actually, I kind of think this is the lie, and this very much sounds like it could happen. As I mentioned in other videos as well, Ninjago is not at all taking into account realism and impossibility. Anything can happen in the Ninjago universe, even a potted plant that appears to be insignificant being one of the main reasons as to why the ninja will defeat the overwhelming forces of evil. Now, in terms of what this plant could be, again, we'll talk about that here in a second, but I do believe of these 3 options, this one is still the lie, and the potted plant will in fact be true. But of course, let me know in the comments which one you think is the lie here. 2 of these are true, one of them is a lie at the end of the day. So talking more about this potted plant, could the plant be important? I mean, for sure it probably could be. The post does kind of mention that it's not going to be super important, but that could always be towards the beginning. Maybe the ninja find a plant or something like that, and they end up dismissing it on the basis and the assumption that because it's a plant it can't really help them, but it turns out maybe later in the story the plant will actually do something and mean something more important than the ninja and the audience were led to believe initially. Maybe what Tommy Andreassen was referring to is that perhaps this plant is just a normal plant, but maybe one of the villains is allergic to it or something. I don't know, as I've said, stranger things have happened. And like I said, a plant very well could be important to the main Ninjago storyline for Season 16. At the same time though, that does have me a little concerned. And not because it's a dumb idea. We already have a whole bunch of significant minerals such as Vengestone, Deepstone, so who's to say we can't have significant plants as well? But that's besides the point. The reason why I'm so concerned is what happened the last time there was a pretty major plant involved in the plot of a Ninjago storyline, which according to my recollection was during Season 11 during the Ice chapter specifically. Anyway, back during the Season 11 Ice chapter saga of Ninjago, you might remember a little thing called the Traveler's Tree, a tree located within the Neverrealm itself that could provide the ninja with enough material to make Traveler's Tea in order to transport them back home to the Ninjago overworld. Now, the Traveler's Tree in concept is a pretty cool idea. A tree that could provide the necessary leaves to create Traveler's Tea, that's an awesome idea. Unfortunately though, in my opinion, it's also super lazy and super convenient in the perspective of writing especially. The ninja transported themselves to this very dangerous dangerous realm without any way of getting back home, but it's okay because there's a convenient tree right there that'll solve all of your problems. Sure, the tree is kind of difficult to get to, but at the end of the day, it still gets the ninja where they need to go. I was never a big fan of the Traveler's Tree concept. I remember really hating it when I first watched season 11, and while it may have been a couple of years since I've revisited the ice chapter especially, I remember not being such a huge fan of it. So regarding Ninjago season 16 and this new potted plant, I'm not really super keen on that idea if it's going to be something like the Traveler's Tree. I don't want the plant to be something that the ninja use to physically defeat the bad guys, and if it is, I would like for that plant to be established at the very beginning. If anything, I would like the potted plant to be some type of metaphorical thing. Maybe act as some type of inspiration for the ninja to achieve a new level of growth. The ninja could take inspiration from this plant that's constantly growing and evolving and use that to defeat the bad guys. I would prefer that over the plant holding some type of mysterious weakness for the villains. I'm not really a huge fan of that. Or the plant having some type of Vengestone immunity. No, I hope that does not happen in season 16. I've also been paying a lot of attention to the Ninjago fanbase and its reaction to this potted plant potentially being a thing, and like I said, reading from my own comment section, a lot of people do find this idea to be pretty dumb. At least at first glance. I also saw a couple of people mention how Ninjago is running out of ideas. Again, Ninjago may have some pretty dumb or weaker ideas now and then, but I doubt the series is running out of ideas. I think the potted plant has a lot of potential at the end of the day that some Ninjago fans aren't really seeing, but as I've read from my comment section, some of you guys are definitely there with me in thinking that the potted plant idea might sound a little bit weird at first, but it could in fact mean something greater for Ninjago's future. So in terms of my general thoughts on this subject, if a potted plant does end up being the key as to why the ninja can defeat the bad guys, I'd be okay with that as long as they explain it and as long as the plant is not super convenient to the plot. And according to the Ninjago fanbase, it's kind of a mixed bag here and there, with some people appreciating the idea and other people finding it completely dumb. Maybe when you first hear about the idea of a potted plant being the reason as to why the ninja can defeat the bad guys, maybe that sounds a little bit weird at first, and if this plant does end up being something major, well, that's just more world building for the entire Ninjago series, no harm done there. But of course, with that being said, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. So now let's turn things over to the comment section for your guys' thoughts and opinions. After listening to today's video, let me know down below in the comments what you think about this idea. How do you think a potted plant could work in the Ninjago story to be the key to defeating the bad guys? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And as always, check out the links down below in the description from other forms of social media. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Once again, you guys, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.